timely coming up on July, is it okay for a Catholic to wave the American flag? I know this nation hasn't been kind to the Catholic faith, and some say that the flag stands for something evil, and therefore the argument is that we can't support it.
It is certainly perfectly legitimate to wave the American flag. There is no nation on earth that is perfect right now. Even Leo the 13th said the only nation that was correctly ordered on the whole planet was Ecuador, little Ecuador, but Ecuador has since gone the other way. So there is no nation that has what you'd call perfection with regard to the Catholic faith. But every flag is a symbol of the nation, and you should always be loyal to the nation, to your country, despite its defects, because even with its defects, it's sort of like an extended family in the sense that many things you count on the country to provide for you, such as peace and policing and roads and all sorts of things that pertain to your necessities in life. I mean, otherwise we'd all be living in huts in the jungle, you know. So yes, definitely, it provides defense, and so in a certain way, it's like an extended family in a certain way, and so you have to be loyal to that, despite its defects. And actually, I wouldn't say that this nation has been bad to Catholics. The Catholic Church flourished in this nation, but for the wrong reason, and that is that at the time of the drafting of the Constitution, it decided that it would not impose upon the states any establishment of religion, and that was because the states did not want interference, because you had Puritan New England and you had Church of England in the South. And they were all saying, we don't want the federal government in here. So the federal government really was not at fault. But what was at fault was the attitude of those various states who adopted the non-religious state. In other words, they took away their establishment of those religions, of Puritan in Massachusetts, etc., Church of England in the South, and they said, we're going to be a religious liberty state. You see, so that attitude is what infected Catholics. That, well, you see, we're free here, so this religious liberty must be a very good thing because we are free, not like the persecuted Catholics in Europe and France and Italy during the 19th century. It was horrible. And so American Catholics got imbued with this idea that the state should be neutral, religiously neutral, and religion is your own business, and that makes everything wonderful because the church can flourish without any government problems. That's false, all right? And that's what led to the document on religious liberty at Vatican II, which was pushed by Cardinal Spellman, an American, and his theologian John Courtney Murray, also American. So that is sort of like the American heresy. The Catholic Church would say that Christ is the king, and that he has the right to to sovereignty not only over individuals but also over nations as they are nations, and that all laws must be in conformity with his law, and that his religion should be publicly recognized by all nations. That is the Catholic position. So I would say to Americans, and of course I'm an American, but I had to learn that. I had to learn all of that, because I thought, oh yeah, this is wonderful, you know, this whole system. They have to understand that they live in a world that does not respect the rights of Christ the King, and nonetheless, it is a nation that to which we should be loyal, and it's the American flag is something that you should be proud of.
And I suppose that's easier for us, Darcy. We're Americans, and you're answering this question in America. If I were to take that to an extreme example, let's say I was living in Iran or I was living in North Korea, would I also potentially proudly wave my flag as a citizen of one of those countries?
Well, that's a whole different question. You know,
but I think I'm just trying to extend the idea that he's saying that, it hasn't been a friend of the church, therefore I should be wary of the flag. And
it has not been an enemy of the church. It hasn't been a friend, but it hasn't been an enemy. The church was never persecuted in this country, at least after the Constitution.
So you mean directly, as opposed to, let's say, abortion laws and indirect attacks on the churches?
Well, yes, that's again a different question. That's natural law, even and that's what happens when you divorce religion from the state. That there is no compass, there's no moral compass. Napoleon said that. He said, if you don't have religion in the state, you have no moral compass. Napoleon. And that's why he made the Concordat with the church, because he knew that France, even though he was not religious at all, but he knew that France could not hold itself together morally unless the church had been established there. You see, so that we are seeing the effect of no religion in the government right now, because there's no one to say that abortion is an evil thing. And this is my body. Don't tell me what to do with it. And I'm free as a bird, and I'm pro-choice. And all of this comes from the fact that religion is silent and must be silent. It has been silenced by the Constitution and by the general disestablishment of religion in the states. And so we're just seeing the world go crazy in our own country. Our country is in decline right now, and in a position of failure. In both the government and many other aspects about it, it's failing as a nation. We're coming up on 250 years in 2026, and it's not a pretty picture.
I think that's an understated way of putting it. Actually, not a pretty picture.